Simple IRA, 401k, SEP IRA. Which one is right for your business? This is the golden question. My goal for you is that by the end of this video, you should be able to determine which one of these three is the best retirement plan for your business and your personal situation. Let's go through it together. One of the most important things you can do for your financial well-being and for your employees is to have a retirement account set up within your small business. There are different types, and each one comes with its own set of rules, complexities, and costs. So navigating which one of the three makes sense for you is important to go through. First, I want to start with the 401k. This is the most popular and hopefully the best understood of the three. This is an employer-sponsored plan, which basically means that the business offers the plan to its employees. And what is most lucrative about the 401k is its tax advantages. It's how much you can put into this account relative to the salary you need to give yourself, right? There's an efficiency of dollars here where you can put a significant amount away without having to pay as much in payroll taxes. However, that's the biggest pro. The biggest con is the administrative costs. The 401k allows an employee to put up to $23,000 of their wages into the 401k account. Then, as the employer, you can put up to 25% of the wages for a total of $69,000. In other words, the employer would put $46,000, a 25% on about $184,000 of wages. So one more time, you pay yourself $184,000, you put $23,000 of it into your 401k, and then as an employer, you match $46,000, and now you've got $69,000 in your 401k. That is a huge write-off. For someone in the 24% tax bracket, that strategy would save you about $16,000 in tax dollars at least. And for someone who's in the 37% tax bracket, that could save you almost $25,000 in taxes. The beauty of the solo 401k is that when you offer it to your employees, you are, especially under the safe harbor plan, you are capped at matching at around 3 or 4%. And if they don't contribute to the plan as an employee, you actually don't have to put in anything. To me, I love the 401k because it allows you to put away so many dollars without having to pay yourself so significantly enough that your payroll taxes are extraordinary. Even if you didn't want to put away $69,000 and you just wanted to put away, say, $23,000, you could pay yourself a reasonable wage of whatever your role is, put away the $23,000 and move on. Because as long as you make more than $23,000, you can put away the $23,000. 401ks do have a wide range of investment options depending on the servicer that you choose, from mutual funds to stocks to bonds. Really, the downside, the con to the 401k is the cost. If you're doing a multi-employee plan for your office, for example, you're probably looking at somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 in annual cost per year between the cost of the funds, a third-party administrator, and all of the filings and forms. So it really needs to make sense for you to get the 401k implemented. Number one, you have to be doing it because you are going to cap out at the $23,000. You're going to be aggressive with your own savings. You're doing it because you want to retain good talent, and the talent you have wants to have a 401k. And you're doing it because you want the flexibility of all the things that you can invest in with the 401k. Before I move on to the other types, I want to mention the solo 401k, which is very popular amongst small business owners that only have one employee. Think the owner is the sole employee. A solo 401k is like this unicorn of a 401k because it has less administrative costs than the regular 401k does that you have other employees and need to do certain filings. A solo 401k says that you are the only employee other than maybe a spouse, and you are the only person that is going to be contributing. Therefore, you don't need to do as much testing and administrative forms to see if there's any kind of discrimination and matching and all of this stuff. So I really, really like the solo 401k. Again, if you're going to go for the gold and contribute the max as an employee. And again, before I move on to the next type, I'm going to mention the 403b. There's some confusion about the difference between a 403b and a 401k. 403bs are typically offered by nonprofits or educational institutions, but they act the same as a 401k. They have similar 23,000 limit, similar max 69,000 limit. The difference really is, one, the type of employer you have and the plan that they can offer based on the employer or type that they are, and also the type of investments you can invest in. As a 403b, you can actually invest in annuities, which is something very unique to 403bs. Now let's move on to the Simple IRA you may have heard. This is available for employers who have less than 100 employees. Simple stands for Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees. Here's how this one works. Employees can choose to contribute or not, but whether they contribute or not, you need to match. You need to contribute. Some business owners will hesitate to get a Simple IRA because they don't want to have to match or put money into an employee's account if they themselves don't contribute to the account. The thing is, the reason why the Simple IRA is lucrative is because the administrative costs are so much lower than the 401k. But because they're so much lower, the amount you can put into it is also lower. In 2024, you can only put a max of up to $16,000 in a Simple IRA or $3,500 more if you're over 50. So you see, at this point, my conversation with a business owner would be, are you willing to pay more administrative costs to be able to contribute more to your retirement account? And we would only consider the 401k if the answer was, yes, I want to go for the gold. I want to put $23,000 in. But if my business owner was saying, I'm just looking for a vehicle to put some money away, I don't know about doing 23, maybe I'll do 5, maybe I'll do 10, then maybe the Simple is the way to go. And yes, maybe there's going to be a bit more costs on having to match employees that are not contributing to the plan, but maybe this employer doesn't have any employees. Let's finish up with the SEP IRA, the Self-Employed Pension IRA. That's what that stands for. The SEP has the least administrative and costly burden of all the options we've discussed. It's the easiest of the three. However, the amount of money that you put in is difficult, okay? It's only 25% of your compensation. This plan is considered employer-sponsored, employer-funded, which means employees do not contribute from their wages. The employer is the one that puts in 25% of the owner's W-2 compensation in this plan. I'm not a huge fan of the SEP because you do need to pay yourself significantly in order to get to that 69,000 cap, right? So if you wanted to put in, say, for example, the full 23,000, you'd have to pay yourself a lot more money than you would if you were in the 401k. With the trade-off being the administrative costs of a 401k versus a SEP. With that said, there are still instances where the SEP might make sense. Again, going back to what I was saying, and if employer is not really interested in hitting those high limits and capping out, then it might make sense where a SEP is just the way to go. Put in a couple of dollars based off of 25% of whatever your W-2 pay is. And now you've got some retirement savings and some tax savings. Not the most savings you could probably achieve, but you've got some. And your trade-off is these administrative costs. As you can see, choosing the right retirement plan has so much complexity to it based on what your ultimate goals is. As a business owner, you definitely want to save on administrative costs. You want something that's easy and straightforward. You want something that's lucrative for employees. But at the same time, you also want to save as much money as possible in taxes doing all of this. And so ultimately, it comes down to what is the biggest goal? How much money as an employer are you willing to set aside for something like this, not only for your employees, but also for yourself? And depending on that, we can find the right balance between administrative costs, saving for retirement, and achieving some tax savings. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at Accounting to Scale so I can keep making this amazing content just for you. Until the next video, your favorite CPA, Tiffany Gonzalez.